Leaders, it is week 4 in our study, and I can't believe after this week we are halfway done. But I am totally geeking out about this verse. So here we are, friend to friend conversation. This verse, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, have been such a transformational verse in my life, like throughout the entire course of my life. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. Now I know this is so much easier said than done, but honestly, trusting in the Lord and living in full surrender to Jesus has been the thing that has just, I guess, ushered me into more intimacy with him in this perpetual state of just delighting in God. No matter where I am on the journey, I don't have to be at the destination. If I just trust him on the journey, it brings this level of love and joy and peace and patience. All those fruits of the Spirit just begin to bubble out of my life. But I'm going to confess something to you, because this is our porch time together as leaders and honestly as friends. But in this season of my life, where I'm tempted to not trust the Lord is in the area where I feel like he's given me some promises and dreams, and maybe even those promises or those desires were given to me as a teenager, as a young follower of Christ. And here I am now in my 40s with 4 kids of my own, and I'm tempted to doubt what he's spoken to my heart. I'm tempted to not trust his plan, and instead I'm tempted to lean on my own understanding in order to make some of those things in my life happen in my timetable. And that way I can sort of bypass trusting him, and I can say, yeah, God, I trust you. I totally trust you. But, I'm just going to be a really great steward of this, and I'm going to come up with a plan that's awesome. And I'm just going to make sure that I get from point A to point B, your promise, as quickly as possible. But friends, like living only for the destination and not trusting in the Lord and just depending on your own way of doing things, if I live just for that destination point, I am constantly living in disappointment. It's only when I just begin to trust God on the journey and he becomes the dream and he almost becomes the destination and he becomes that thing that I long for more than anything else, I begin to trust him and I begin to enjoy the journey, and the destination and the dreams are awesome. And I believe God will bring them to pass in his timing and his way. But they're like sprinkles on top of the hot fudge sundae that I'm already experiencing in the Lord. I want you to go to the Leader's Guide, and there's going to be some really great fun things for you to do in there and some great snacks. But I just want to encourage you that everything that God has promised you as a daughter of him, he is going to bring in his timing. I know it's so hard to just trust in the timing of God, but I believe that as we do, as you do, you're going to see God do miracles that only he can do. I'm often reminded of that miracle in the New Testament where Jesus feeds the 5,000 and he tells his disciples, I'm going to feed them. And the disciples are like me, go into like strategic mode. Oh my gosh, okay, what can we do? We can try and, make money and try and pay for all these people and blah, 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 blah. And they have all their plans. And then there's this little boy that comes and says, I have 5 loaves and 2 fish, and that's all I have, but Jesus, I give it to you. And Jesus does a miracle in those 5 loaves and 2 fish. And the challenge for me oftentimes with the Holy Spirit is, Jamie, I can do more with your less than I could with your strategy and your strength and your hard work and your effort and all of that, all of those things that you think are going to get you to that place that I've called or I've asked you to be, or that promise or that miracle, all those things that you're trying so hard for. I just want you to know that I just want you to give me what you have, because you don't make the miracle, I do. And all I want you to do is surrender to me and walk in obedience, trust me on the journey, and I will do miracles that surpass your expectations with just you giving yourself to me. And so I pray that encourages your heart this week. And I want you to know I'm praying for you this week. I believe everything God's promised you, he'll bring to pass. And I pray that he helps you to enjoy the journey and to trust him every step of the way. And even when it doesn't make sense, to just respond obediently and respond in surrender. It's going to be a great week. I love you, ladies.